So we usually always are a little bit hard on Kirk Franklin. And he recently went a little bit viral for having a conversation on the Pivot podcast where he was asked a question as a Christian. And I know some people don't think that Kirk Franklin is the best person to be asked questions when it comes to Christianity because they believe that he is not one of the best representations of the Christian community. But I don't want to take this video as an opportunity to bash him, but I do want to listen to this conversation he went viral for, and I want to talk about it. And for the first time, we are going to try our absolute best to see things from Kirk's side and to put ourselves in Kirk Franklin's shoes as much as we possibly can. Here we go.
Am I wrong for cussing?
I think that if you cuss, I just want to make sure that do you know what you're doing? Like, I don't know, like, what would be a couple of your combos?
Yes, you know, man, that raggedy motherfucker over there. But I'm not saying it nasty. I'm just saying it like, you
He's actually a prolific cusser.
I can really put some words together. I don't want to get too deep, but it's not like I'm not trying to fight. You know what I'm saying?
Can you give me one more? Just one more, please.
Man, this stinking ass ugly bitch over there going,
oh my
but
God.
I'm not saying that in a
You don't really mean that they stink or ugly.
No, she don't stink, they're not ugly. It's just, it's like, it's a term of vindictive.
And now, here's where I was saying we need to put ourselves in Kirk's shoes just in this situation, because I do believe that as Christians, and furthermore here on YouTube, the Christian commentators, I do believe that we can get into a groove of nitpicking and pointing out things too much that almost everything starts to sound like a judgment. And I want to use this opportunity to kind of prove some things, because Kirk Franklin has been asked a question from someone who genuinely wants to know if something is a sin or not. Now, in these situations, when you really think about it, I know that sometimes Christians can look at this and be like, bro, you're ruining it. You're not helping him. You're not giving him any advice. You're being just as worldly as he is. Why are you laughing at that? You shouldn't be laughing at it. You should be correcting him. And it's like, when someone puts themselves in a position to vulnerably ask someone a question, I don't think using that opportunity, taking advantage of one's vulnerability, and pointing the finger very harshly is the right way to go about it. I'm not saying it's not an option, but I am saying that I don't believe it is the right way to go about it. Now, also, as believers, I think it's important that we realize that when we hear this, and I'm going to run it back, and I didn't give a disclaimer in the beginning, but mature ears only. When we hear such phrases as Kirk Franklin was questioning and wanting to know, because he told him, what are you doing it for? I want to know, make sure you know what you're doing. Maybe he's wanting to know, are you cursing people or are you just using foul language? Because to curse someone is not okay. But to use bad language, is it okay? Is it wrong? There's some scriptures that would tell us how to clean our mouths and how can we praise with the same tongue that we curse. But I'm not sure that we're speaking about cussing. But like I said, that's one of those things that it's a thin line, and we can have a whole different conversation on that. But in this particular situation with Kirk, I think if I really put myself in his shoes, and I say, hey, if I'm in a room and someone asks me the question, how am I going to handle it? I'm not going to rebuke them. I'm not going to go off on them. I'm not going to alienate them. I'm not going to make them feel so ragged and dirty just because they do something that I may or may not do. I can be honest enough as a believer to say that, hey, this is reality. Some people speak this way. This isn't the first time I'm hearing it, and my ears aren't so holy and sanctified that when I hear it, I've got to just act like I'm just losing myself. Not at all. So let's run this back, and let's hear what he had to say again. Mature ears only. And like I said, put yourself in Kirk's shoes. And think about everything I said. And let's see if Kirk is in the wrong, as so many people were saying he was for how he handled this, or not. And let me know what you think.
I don't know, like, what would be a couple of your combos?
Yes, you know, man, that raggedy motherfucker over there. But I'm not saying it nasty. I'm just saying it like, you know.
He's actually a prolific cusser.
I can really put some words together. I don't want to get too deep, but it's not like I'm not trying to fight. You know what I'm saying?
Can you give me one more? Just one more, please.
Man, this stinking ass ugly bitch over there going,
Oh my
but
God.
I'm not saying that in a
You
phrase.
don't really mean that they stink or
No,
ugly.
she don't stink, they not ugly. It's just, it's like, it's a term of endearment. Man, you better get your ugly ass from by me. That's sweet.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Get your big-headed ugly ass from around me. Like, that's just boys talking.
Oh, this is. Whew. Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
he's one of a kind.
Kirk said that like he needed that laugh. Now, is there a better way to say things? Yes. But when you hear the way he's saying it, when it's so, like, he doesn't mean any harm. The intent is not harmful. Now, is there a better way to speak? Yes, we all know that. But is he going to burn in the lake of fire for joking with his buddies in that way and his buddies aren't offended because they've built a culture, if you will, that that's the way they speak? I don't think so. I don't think so. That's just my opinion, but I'm not all knowing. And if you've got some information to disprove that, please provide it for me down below. Let's finish this out.
Thank you for that.
But is that wrong? If I'm just messing with him, we get off the plane, I'm messing around. Bring your big ass on if I whoop your ass. Is that bad word? Am I in trouble biblically?
I'm gonna be very honest with you. Can I just keep it 100 and not in cap? I would love to be your friend.
It is a special experience.
I try to give you.
That's where I would. That's the only thing. This is the only thing we're going to use to push maybe against Kirk, was that in that opportunity, he didn't really give him an answer. And I think maybe because Kirk didn't know the answer, and then also maybe he did know the answer, but it's such like how he said before in an interview, the Christian community can be such a judgmental community sometimes, even for the people who are already in the community. They're judged sometimes harshly, wrongly, if you will. So he probably knew to say, similar to what I'm saying, brother, there is a nicer way to go about it, but you're joking. And if this is the community of people, your best friend, your brother, whatever, these are close people and that's how you guys get down. That's how you guys show love. That's how you get down, man. The intent's not wrong. Now, if you're really out here speaking this way to people, you're really out here treating random people at grocery stores when you go to places, customers, just treating them terrible, well, then that's something different we got to talk about. But in this situation, I think that Kirk really wanted to just tell him that, but the fear of just him even being even more judged and even more harshly attacked for saying it than what he already was, I think that might be why he went the route he did and just saying, I would love to be your friend. But it's like, yeah, brother, there's a nicer way to go about things. There's always a better way to do something. But heaven and hell situation, I'll put myself on the record to say that I don't think with this case-by-case basis, this case here, I wouldn't say. If you disagree, let me know why.
Earlier, can I get a dap now?
Now you can't be out as long as you don't be trying to make me sound all nasty and stuff. Oh, that was your combos are excellent.
Yeah, you know.
He does stand-up comedy, though.
So that's why people were saying that Kirk Franklin loved cursing and stuff because he's like, they're excellent. But it's like, for some people, depending on where you grew up, I'm not saying that where we grow up and all that stuff changes what the Bible's going to tell us to do or what he expects of us character-wise. But no, for some people, though, that is how you're growing up. Some people hear that language growing up in the house. So it's kind of like the friendly way to go about things, you know? No harm, no foul type of situation. But yeah, man, I would say that sometimes we do have to look at things case-by-case basis. And we can't forget that God definitely is weighing the motives and the intent of the heart. And sometimes we can fixate so much on the minute things that it puts us in a position to where we're not even able to focus on the things that really matter. And so, yeah, I would just use this opportunity to be like, hey, continue to pray for Kirk. He's on his own journey. We all have to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. So we are definitely all on our own path, and we're making progress. So continuing to pray for Kirk and that young man to get the revelation that he's needing in whatever way that he's needing it. And we just hope that we can continue to push these things in our community with less judgment, open rebuke and love. Absolutely. But leave the judgment out of the open rebuke that should be coming in love. That's all I got for you guys on today, man. Let me know what you guys think about this. If you disagree, let me know. If you got some scriptures, put them down there. I'm just speaking from the heart here and from the little bit of knowledge that I have from reading the scriptures myself. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys on this one. To the next one. I'm out.